Many of you have been told these things about money. You need to save your money for retirement. Your bank account is a great place for you to keep your money. Working 40 hours a week isn't enough. You need to pay your dues. You need passive income to have free time and a good life. Believe it or not, none of these is the biggest lie about money. There's one deeper principle that has snuck down into the depths of our society and masked itself as a seemingly innocent quote that gets thrown around all the time. Today, it will be exposed. For most people, they're just trying to figure life out. Whether they are just leaving school or they've been in the workforce for a little while now, they have started to realize that it's not all it's cracked up to be. They want to make money, live a happy and fulfilling life, and go on to work on things that actually matter to them and get them excited. The problem is that society has constructed the idea that they need to play it safe, that they need to go take that corporate job just to pay the bills, that they need the information from universities and bosses in order to be successful and have a good life. The reason they don't know what they truly want to do and aren't excited about life is that they were given limited career options of business and medical and engineering and social services and politics and education. They've never gone and explored their interests, and they definitely haven't tried enough stuff to make any real decision on what they want to pursue. Sure, they know how to get a job and trade their time and life energy for money, but they don't know how to create a life where the money comes easy and they are doing what they actually enjoy, because that simply isn't the narrative that's been taught to them. They have been told the biggest lie ever about money, and it's been programmed subconsciously by a phrase that goes like this: life is a marathon, not a sprint. Now, on the surface, that doesn't seem bad, but the issue with this idea and the ones mentioned at the beginning of the video is that they are only half-truths, maybe even only quarter-truths, and this is being applied to all areas of your life, including your career and money. Of course you want to work hard, of course you want to have money in case of emergency, and of course you want to have freedoms later in life for retirement. And yes, life is a long game for a lot of us, but these ideas are thrown at you in the context that they are right for your life and that this is the path you need to take. And by all means, if you want an average, dull life that drones on and on without much excitement or fulfillment, then take this advice. But for most of you out there, I know that that is not you, so let me explain a new way to think about this. My coach and mentor back when I played college football was a very successful guy by all standards of money and fulfillment by doing what he loved. He explained to me that life is not a marathon. Instead, life is a series of sprints and rests pieced together in what appears to be a long race. You see, we live life in the segmentation of days. Those days go by, and when we look back, we call it a year. But a year is just really a string of 365 days pieced together, and what we choose to do each of those days has an impact on the overall race. So now that we understand that we live life one day at a time, life, success, money, is all just a reflection of how we choose to spend our singular days. Now I'm going to bring you guys back to one of the most famous stories in all of history. This is the story of the tortoise and the hare. So the bunny, being speedy as he is, goes in crazy fast bursts and then gets tired and needs to stop, while the tortoise simply moves at a slow and consistent pace. And as we know, the tortoise is victorious in the end because, after all, slow and steady wins the race, right? So I'm sure you have all also heard that life is a marathon. The reason that people express these ideas and the reason that it's hidden in these stories is to highlight that a slow and consistent effort has compounding effects that build over time. So the real principle that they're trying to highlight here is that consistency wins out against inconsistency. But slow is actually not better than fast. Slow takes more time, and fast requires more rest. So when you actually look at life on a daily basis, it is much more like a series of sprints and rests. You're productive for a few hours and then you need a break. You do a grueling 1-hour workout and then you need rest, so on and so forth. How effective you are at managing these sprints and rests will show by where you are at in your life right now. In order to be successful in one single day, you have to understand what you're working towards. The reason that 8-hour workdays exist is because people are being treated like the tortoise. They are so terribly unproductive, or they are needed for menial tasks that require someone's time and attention to sit there and complete. You see, money is just a reflection of the value that someone brings, and if you start to think of money in terms of life energy, you'll begin to see how silly it is to trade your life energy for 8 hours a day at $8 an hour. You are devaluing yourself. You'll also start to watch what materialistic items you are buying, because is having the newest iPhone really worth 125 hours of your life energy? Now, it might be for some people, but it's important to be aware of the decision and trade-off that you're making. In order to make money and not trade all of your time and life energy for it, while also having a fulfilled and happy life, you need to control these 4 W's. Number 1, what you do. Number 2, when you do it. Number 3, where you do it. And number 4, who you do it with. If you can achieve controlling these 4 W's, then your life will feel as if it's going the way that you decided it should be, not the way that somebody else decided it should be. Now I know that's easier said than done, but to achieve this you have to first break the idea that life is a marathon and that you need to spend all of your time droning on in that corporate box of cubicles and fake smiles. What you need to do is start doing your sprints and rests every single day. You see, if output is defined by the amount of something produced by a person, machine, or industry, then your personal output is defined by 2 finite resources: your time and your energy. How you spend these resources dictate your sprints and your rests. Instead of filling an 8-hour time block to use up all of your energy and focus and attention, you should constrain your time to 2 or 3 hours and pack a much more intense push of energy and action into that time frame. The harder you sprint, aka the more intensely you focus and take action on your work, the more important the rest piece is so you can get up and do it again. Not only does this produce better results, but it also frees up time so that it can be used to manage things outside of work that are more important to having a fulfilled life. So I personally like to think about it like this. If I can wake up and do one extremely productive work session that requires all of my time and attention and is focused on proactive instead of reactive work, then I can feel totally comfortable knowing that I was more productive in that session with that intense push than I would have been in an 8-hour time block of completely lifeless, meaningless work. So if I can get up and convince myself to just do that one extremely productive session where I have no distractions, I will know that I'm on track and on pace to hit my goals. The principle of life being about sprints and rests has changed my perspective on money and how I spend my days. For everyone out there that is looking to live life in a more action-packed, fulfilled way, I suggest you start raising the value on yourself, and here are the 3 key takeaways to do so. Number 1, use high-energy, intensely focused work blocks to accomplish in 2 hours what others do in 2 days or 2 weeks. Number 2, don't fall prey to the idea that acquiring money needs to be a long, dull, and aching process. And number 3, use the extra time that you've now saved to do even more of what actually gives you energy rather than drains it. So these are things like hobbies instead of sending emails for your company. Lastly, remember that when it comes to money and your value in this world, life is most certainly not a marathon. It is a series of sprints and rests compiled over a long period of time. Lastly, guys, I'm going to leave you with a quote from Sadhguru that says, "If everything you do in life is for utility and work purposes, then your very existence becomes purely functional, and this will make you an empty shell of a human." So guys, don't be a robot. This means incorporate sprints and rests into your life so that you can have the time to do things with no expectation or outcome that you're chasing, and this will make you more human and lead you down a more fulfilled path. That is a wrap. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I appreciate your time and attention. If this video helped you, please comment down below and also let me know what you want to see in the next videos, and leave a like, please, so that the YouTube gods can bless us and we can go to the moon like that guy right there. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, whatever you guys got to do to help the channel grow. I would really appreciate that, so that we can get more content out and help even more people. So thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything.